Well, 3 other bulls continue to answer Larry's challenge. It's often necessary to get within 200 yards or less to call a bull within range. Larry feels they must get closer and motions for Dwight to move up.
Exciting. 5-6 yards. I mean, I just winged my bow around, let her fly.
5 or 6 yards.
Oh,
You could just see the antlers coming right down at you. And I thought, man, he's gonna walk right on top of you.
Oh man, he did.
As the bull walks by only 5 yards away, an elk hunter must stay cool in tense moments like this.
Elk Fever Iii with Dwight Schuh, Steve Jones, and Larry D. Jones. The legacy of Elk Fever and the adventures of Larry, Dwight, and Steve have inspired hunters across the country, young and old, new and experienced, to further their own adventure hunting elk. Their pursuit of these majestic animals and their inspiring passion shared over the last 30-plus years for elk is why we are here today celebrating Elk Fever.
I think he's right on that far hillside right down there. Yeah, I think he's down on the canyon and just up the other hillside.
You guys ready to go kill one? I'll call one in for you.
Okay.
Well, what I have here is some slides some stuff that we did when we were doing the video Elk Fever and Elk Fever II. Just take a look and see what I got. Elk are majestic. They got these antlers that tower above their heads, and most of the time they're either chocolate brown or what people call ivory tips, white tips on the antlers. They're just beautiful animals. This bull right here, he probably would tip the scale at 650 to 700 pounds. He's a nice big animal, and they are extremely difficult to hunt.
That's wild boar sausage right there.
A typical day of elk hunting requires getting up 2 hours prior to daylight,
Just started on a good hearty breakfast.
eating a hearty breakfast, and driving or hiking to a spot where your bugles and cow mews will penetrate likely first light elk areas.
Boy, that wind has changed. It was blowing down, now it's blowing straight up the road.
When the month of September arrives, there is little that will keep one with elk fever out of the mountains. Elk. They are majestic creatures that roam throughout the United States. Approximately 1 million elk are found nationwide. From deserts to forests, mountains, and even open plains, elk are extremely adaptable. They are one of the most cherished big game animals nationwide. Some prefer solo hunting because they are confident, capable, skilled hunters who love the challenge of hunting elk by oneself.
I like to put a little bit of white on because there's lots of white on the logs and stuff out here. I just heard a bull. He just went, "Ew." Wasn't real loud, but I'm pretty sure he's up on that hillside right there.
Larry likes to solo bow hunt because he's in tune with nature and more focused when analyzing sign, listening intently instead of whispering to his partner. The downside is, once his bull is down, it's a lot of work without help.
He's really not that far away. Look at that hillside right there. He can be down here in just minutes.
He moves in to challenge the bull. When a hunter has an up-close elk encounter, it's always an exhilarating experience. The slightest movement from the hunter can spook an elk. You must be certain you don't move when he is looking your
You
way.
should clean all your feet. So if you have to move around, you don't make any noise.
Even at the age of 77, Larry is still rattled by the bugle of a mature bull.
He's moving. He's moving.
But when he does hunt with a friend, there is not much that compares to time with his good friend Dwight Schuh.
2 years ago, I couldn't even get out of the bloody camper. So, I don't care how hard this is. It's nice. Oh, man. That's like, this is heaven to me.
Puts in perspective.
You have no idea.
These are all borrowed days.
These are borrowed days.
These are extended days.
Thank you, Lord, for the extension. This is a good place for it to happen, though.
Yeah. And you call this fun? A lot more fun when we get a bull bugling.
The success of an elk hunter is largely determined by their devotion to preparing for the hunt throughout the off-season. Larry prefers a topographic map over using a GPS unit when planning his hunt route for each day. The larger view allows careful study of the north and east slopes, which elk prefer because it's cooler, there are more creeks and springs, and better feed. Study of map contour lines determines his hunt travel route, so he will hunt high percentage areas, utilize energy by circling through saddles, avoiding cliffs, and making camp by dark.
Larry, dinner's ready.
Okay, hon. It's really good, honey. Got asparagus. You got it right this time. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Oh, I was looking at some spots where I like to hunt this year.
There are few moments throughout the day that the hunter is not thinking about elk.
What area?
Can't tell you.
Even at the dinner table, elk hunting starts from your feet up because elk are herd animals and you must cover ground to find them. You must get your legs in shape for steep, rugged terrain because that's where you'll normally find elk. Spending numerous hours studying the habitat and terrain where you plan on hunting will keep your mind sharp for the moment you encounter elk.
And the first thing I really look for, I think, particularly in September when the bulls are in rut, is water. And I don't mean drinking water, I mean water for wallowing. And normally the bulls will water in wet meadows or bogs, but you know that there's probably some springs and some seeps along those drainages right there. I'm relying primarily on what I found on these maps as my scouting base when I get out there hunting.
Because my exercise schedule lately has not been what it should be.
For Larry, being an elk hunter means preparing 11 months of the year and hunting for one. Even if you think you are in shape, you usually aren't prepared for elk country.
Oh yeah.
I'd say that's a bull right there.
Pretty good sized track.
Tracking elk is an excellent way of finding elk. When you locate fresh elk tracks during the morning hours, quietly follow. And when you see the tracks split and wander around, this may mean they are close to their bedding area and have staged there to nibble grass. It only takes one bugle or some fresh sign to spark excitement back in the blood of an elk hunter.
Oval shape. That's definitely a bull. Let's go get him.
Calling elk is a favorite method for getting a shot at an elk.
You make this yourself?
So knowing how to make soft pleading or loud mews, producing soft, simple, wimpy locating bugles, or loud, intimidating, cranky, raspy, squealing bugles requires selecting the right calls and hours of practice.
Try that one. It's not a pickle.
When it comes to calling, remember two things. If you don't call, nothing will answer.
A rabbit and a spider. Brought back some pretty fond memories.
A great partner in the field is hunt smart, unselfish, helpful, physically fit, and will be delighted when his partner bags an elk.
Way to go, buddy.
That's something.
That was great.
Nice job. That was fantastic. That was just
A
fantastic.
partner can provide a different point of view on hunt tactics
Nice saddle up there where the elk had really been passing through.
and can help call a bull by staying back behind. Hunkering in cover and making soft mews while you move closer to ambush the bull.
Maybe I should get an arrow on my string just in case something happens here.
Shoot this way, this way, this way, that way. That's pretty good.
Each elk is an individual, and the sound you make may not stir him into answering. And just because you've had success calling in bulls with bugles and cow mews doesn't mean it'll work on the next bull.
So since the wind is blowing like this,
Larry starts to draw. The bull smells the hunters. They don't have a chance.
I just seen his antlers like coming up. Really? But your calling was good, he coming.
When a hunter has an up-close elk encounter, it's always an exhilarating
I could
experience.
see those brow tines like,
Oh, is that right?
at least we call one.
Oh, hi. I'm on my way to Idaho to hunt elk and forgot my tab, and I'm going to get a snack. Hi, Dale.
Hi, Larry.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Been a while. When was the last time we met?
Probably
Or
down
seen
in
each
Reno.
other? Reno.
Yeah, Reno at the buying group show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I was down there that had a booth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm on my way to Idaho to do a little elk hunting. And I forgot my tab. Well, I got a tab, but it's kind of funky one, and yes, my spare. So I'd like to have a little better one.
I just so happen to have one. It's right over
I was hoping
here.
you would, because there's not that many guys that are shooting stick bows nowadays. Perfect.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, let me look that over there. Yep, medium, right hand medium, sure. Yeah.
Onward to head to Idaho.
Dwight, what? Are these poisonous?
I think so.
Yeah. Make you crazy.
This is elk hunting.
Anyway, you're gonna hurt yourself. Don't do that. That's how I get him to do stuff for me. I just say, you couldn't do that.
I have to bugle so that I think I'm a bull.
I'm gonna guess that we've been on 100 hunts together.
Early season elk hunting.
Thanks, buddy.
We hunted area in Dwight and I, bow hunters calling elk.
You do have a tendency to carry a lot better in very close quarters and in heavy timber. You want to sound big and mean and bad because you got the cows, and that's going to attract other bulls.
A lot of those were video hunts, which adds a sort of an element of stress.
And difficulty.
It does, but I think that if we didn't work together really well, and I appreciate you as a good friend and a good hunting partner, and just that's why I like hunting with Larry. Times you've put up with me, of course I've put up with you a few times too, but you know, it's just,
well, that's what
I think we have the same passion for what we're doing. I think that's why we've lasted together for so many years.
Larry, can you hear him? Come real slow.
Larry quietly hunted up and over the crest and then slowly eased down the north slope. He makes soft mews and spots elk 200 yards in the trees. A cow appeared within 12 yards. Branches jetting upward from a fallen log shielded her vitals, so eventually she turned and walked downhill.
Cow's right down there. Coming up this way, I think. Cow's right there.
Patiently watch for the bull to look away or wait for brush, trees, or limbs to shield his eyes before you draw your bow. Your mind's a whirlwind as you analyze the bull's movements, body language, and his next move. It's a challenge to control your shaking body as your breath quickens, eyes blur. and many times you can't think straight.
To really have a passion for elk hunting, I think you have to have a passion for adventure, because I actually never looked at elk hunting as killing an elk.
This is the first day we even seen elk. That's what makes it crazy, because I was shaking like a leaf. Maybe shaking like a washing machine that's out of balance.
Because I found out killing an elk is really hard.
Which we're finding out
It's not
today.
easy, yeah. It's not easy, and I went through several years of not getting one. Unlike Larry, he got one his first year, but I did not.
Come on, you're Dwight Schuh. Call me in one.
That's why I don't hear anything. I just had some misadventures and just a lot of days when I wasn't getting into elk and didn't know what I was doing, but I was always on an adventure. It was like I was in a different world.
Larry located a trail cutting through low but thick bushes. As he stepped from the bushes, he spotted a 5-point bull. The bull spotted Larry, and standoff staring continued for several minutes. That's a different bull.
There he is.
Larry made louder, excited mews, and the bull instantly bellowed a vibrant, creaking, rusty gate hinge response. Ripped upward, sending dirt, grass, and twigs flying. He gouged earth and then jerked skyward. Shredding and ripping branches as he plowed forward to establish his dominance. A bull's close-range bugle can rattle a hunter to his core, and the sight of an 800-pound bull quickly closing the distance to your challenge with bone-hard, ivory-tipped sword-like antlers can mortify, humble, and amaze you. Just missed.
Long shot. Oh, man. Can you still see him? If Dwight would have been here, he would have killed that bull.
That one moment when you do hear that bugle out in the woods and you move in, and then it seems so detached from you, and then all of a sudden you hear brush cracking and it's getting closer, and you're listening to that bugling and it's getting closer, and that's when the adrenaline starts hitting you. Like, he's actually coming my way. He's looking for me.
And then my eyes went blurry. I let down a little bit, I could see, so I was getting weak. I thought he pulled it to the right. It was a little bit low too. That was a long shot. My arrow back. Between this. Well, I'll get after him. That was so fun.
When did you first get excited about elk hunting?
It was my second year of bow hunting, and I kept hearing about northeastern Oregon and the guys that were going up there, and one of them was named Billy Cruz, and the other one was named Larry D. Jones. In 1971, I drove up there by myself, had absolutely not a clue as to what I was doing. I got up there and I was just lost. I was sort of almost in tears because I had no idea what to do. But I thought, I'm elk hunting now. But here's what did it. This is what actually did it. When I got up there, it started raining. And then, you know what followed after that? It started snowing. And I was down at the end of the road. And I looked up into the mountains after it snowed all night long. In fact, I was in my canopy on my truck, and I could hear the rain change from rain to snow. And I got up the next morning, and the sky had cleared, and it was blue sky, and it was sunny, and it was shining on those mountains. And I just said,
That was it, huh?
think about that.
Yeah.
Just started thinking about that right now. Don't you use this video or I'll kill you.
This is the best part. This is Dwight Schuh. He was a wonderful person to hunt with. He was always ready to go. Had a lot of humor in that body, that tall string bean body. Like I said before, Dwight was a good caller. Very, very smart hunter. He never said it to my face, of course. He said, Larry could walk me in the ground. But in his later years, he started running marathons and stuff, and I had a hard time keeping up with him when he was doing that until cancer started creeping in and he had those problems. But he's a really neat guy. Yeah, he's a neat guy. I called this bull in for Dwight.
You did a great job calling that guy in for me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's my pleasure for my good friend and
you did a great job of it.
my best hunting partner.
Well, thank you. I
Enjoyed
appreciate it. It was great.
We made a good team, Dwight and I.
Dwight died February 5th, 2019, after fighting multiple myeloma for years. But his passion is still alive through his writings, Elk Fever II, and Elk Fever III. We as elk hunters want to celebrate those who have begun their journey and finished it, leaving us with a greater passion for the outdoors and all we have to cherish with elk hunting. Dwight lived his dream of elk hunting and writing about it, which encouraged and excited more hunters to pursue elk. Elk Fever represents much more than just hunting elk. Larry, Dwight, and Steve considered it essential to pass on the importance of elk conservation. All of us can join and support organizations like RMEF and easily teach our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren the importance of conservation and preserving elk habitat. But I must caution you with one thing. When you hear that first bugle, you're bound to catch elk fever.
Sit tight. Have a baby.
I'm just not a gadget guy, and this is so disruptive of my hunting.